Congratulations to the new president. Show said the move will renew the bond of the long-standing friendship between Nigeria and the UAE. It said the cooperation between both governments have helped Nigeria in tracking down illegal assets and tracing terrorist funds. The president is expected back in the country on Saturday. Now, the Supreme Court has joined Rivers State in President Muhammadu Buhari's suit against Section 84, subsection 12 of the Electoral Act, as a hearing in the suit has been fixed for May the 26th. Justice Mohammed Atijo adjourned the matter following the concession by Buhari's lawyer Lateef Fagbemi that the Speaker, Rivers State House of Assembly, and Attorney General Rivers State be joined as parties. President Buhari and the Attorney General of the Federation, Abubakar Malami, had filed a suit at the Supreme Court seeking an interpretation of Section 84, subsection 12 of the Electoral Amendment Act 2022. The Minority Caucus in the House of Representatives has asked President Muhammadu Buhari to sign the one-item amendment to the Electoral Act 2022. The caucus notes with great concern that the president's delay in signing the single amendment to Section 84, subsection 8 to the Electoral Act 2022 has thrown the nation into serious confusion and constitutes a huge threat to our democracy and the smooth conduct of the 2023 general elections. In a statement by the minority leader of the House of Representatives, retired Honorable Ndudi Elumelu, the caucus urged the president that any further delay in signing the amendment to the Electoral Act to give political parties a sense of direction in the conduct of primaries for the election of candidates for the 2023 general election has the capacity to derail the entire democratic process and destabilize the nation. Now, there has been tension in the Ojo local government area of Lagos as Okada riders received attempts by police officers to enforce the ban on commercial motorcycles in Lagos. Police officers from Onireke Police Station, Ojo, impounded some commercial motorcycles plying the Maitu Badagry Road, and the motorcyclists revolted, stormed the police station, and tried to overrun the station and free motorcyclists arrested by the police. Gunshots were heard ringing out in the area as police officers tried to keep them away, while the motorcyclists retaliated by throwing stones at the officers. The incident has caused heavy traffic in the area. Lagos State Police Commissioner Abiodun Alabi has clarified that residents who operate motorcycles for career services or other private dealings will not be affected by the latest Okada ban. The latest ban on Okadas in the state comes after a sound engineer, David Imo, was allegedly lynched to death by motorcycle riders in the Lekki area of the state over a fare dispute. Police Commissioner stressed that the enforcement of the ban this time will be more thorough, as most Okada riders are criminals and must be taken off the road. The Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Mohammed Bello, has ordered the closure of the Day-Day International Market indefinitely following a clash between commercial motorcyclists popularly known as Okada riders, which claimed at least 4 lives. The minister, who gave the order after inspecting the scene of the incident alongside the FCT Commissioner of Police Sunday Babaji and other security agencies, said trouble started in the market when a female trader fell off a commercial motorcycle and was crushed to death by an articulated vehicle. While dismissing initial reports of a communal clash, he directed the community and market leaders to fish out the hoodlums responsible for the crisis. Students in Ekiti State blocked the popular Faji roundabout in protest against the ongoing strike by the Academic Staff Union of Universities. The joint protest was carried out by students of Ekiti State University Ado-Ekiti and Federal University Oye-Ekiti. They displayed placards with inscriptions such as "End ASU Strike Now," "We say no to educational stagnancy," "We are tired of deadlock meetings," and "Education should not be this difficult," among others. The president of the National Association of Nigerian Students, Sunday Asefo, said the students have lost patience waiting for the federal government and ASU to resolve the impasse.
Mind you, there is a statement by us, and we are not joking with that statement, that if this matter is not being resolved, they should forget about the political activities, the primary coming up in Abuja anytime soon. We are test running, we are showing them that we are not sleeping. We are telling them we are not sleeping. We are telling them we are tired of staying at home. But if they don't listen between now and next week, yes, we will all resume back to our main campus. At the end of every strike, the lecturer will get paid. At the end of every strike, the government official will get paid. Then who pay for the Nigerian student? Who pay for the time being wasted by Nigerian student? Nobody. So these people are not, they don't consider us as part of them. And I'm saying it vertically that these are the people who are direct beneficiary of the free education in this country.
As ways to checkmate the activities of irregular migration in Nigeria, International Organization for Migration (IOM) says it has reintegrated 89,000 returnees back to the society. The IMO awareness-raising officer Cyprian said this during a 3-day training program in conjunction with the Global Migration Media Academy for journalists across the 36 states of the Federation.
Not enough information or knowledge has been shared formally about the phenomenon of migration. And so people pick what they know or think about the phenomenon and talk about. Some correct, some not correct. So you now have the importance of this training that focuses on giving out, if you like, the full story about migration and how we tell how we should.
Some of the facilitators noted that migrants contribute positively to social economic development of the countries they find themselves in.
Of course, to let, or rather train journalists in terms of understanding our migration. Migration is huge. We have the different factors that contribute to issues on migration. For instance, issues such as climate change. We even have issues such as culture. These are some of the issues that from time to time we've not seen even in the mainstream media. That's why it's really crucial for any journalist who will want to be an expertise, or any journalist who want to venture more into reporting migration issues, to also have a background on these different nexus of some of the things that actually influence.
Nigerians speak on the need for regular medical checkups as untreated cases of hypertension double. That's on Straight Views.
But as far as I'm concerned, people are very, very scared about going to hospital to check up. Simply because the day they go to hospital to check for them, to ask about their checkup, about their health-wise, whatever, when they tell them you are carrying so disease in your body, they will be like, what's all this? So their days of death will start counting from that day. So that's why you see many people, they'll be running for it. And if you look at it, average of Nigerians are dying every day simply because of ignorance, of not going to do their medical checkup.
Some believe going to the general hospital involve a hectic tax. That you want to go to the general hospital, it's a thing that will probably take a whole day to do. Then why others that want to go to private hospital consider the financial issues? That is not easy go by.
The truth is bitter. You still have to check your health because, like I said, health is wealth. It's very important to do the checkup before it's too late. Once it's too late, there's no going back. Yeah, it's quite expensive. We all know medical aspects in Nigeria is expensive. So we're still waiting if the government can still try and make something affordable for everybody.
They will say, go and do this test, 50,000. Go and do that test, 100,000. Even people that don't have money, that carry ordinary fee for there, and I tell them to go and do tests of 150,000, 30,000. Where would they get the money? Immediately they add the price of the money, their BP will arise. and they will later die.
If it's possible to have an insurance, go for an insurance that will be able to cover up for your bills when it comes to medical issues.
Nigerian mentality in going for medical checkup is very poor. Some will tell you that I'm not sick. Why should I go to the hospital for checkup? But it is very, very important. Cost of medical checkup in Nigeria is very high. But sometimes in government hospitals, but even when you go to government hospitals, you even be stressed up, the queue and all that. So you still have to go back to private hospitals. But at the same time, no matter how expensive it might be, our health is very, very important.
And in other parts of Africa, the new special representatives of the UN Secretary General in the Central African Republic, Valentine Rugwabiza, wants a readjustment of the UN force to protect civilians, victims of abuses. The Central African Republic, the second least developed country in the world, according to the UN, has been battling a civil war since 2013.
J'ai tenu à demander un réajustement du concept.
I wanted to ask for a readjustment of the concept of our force, of the MINUSCA force. In very simple words, the essence of this readjustment is to adopt a proactive and preventive posture of exactions on civilian populations on the basis of reliable information.
Sur les populations civiles, sur la base d'informations fiables.
Outside Africa, Turkey has told allies that it will reject Sweden and Finland's membership to NATO. In a video, Turkish President Tayyip Erdogan drew comparisons to neighbors Greece rejoining NATO in 1980. He claims Greece harbors what he deems terrorists and fears the same will happen if Sweden and Finland were allowed membership. Erdogan accused Sweden and Finland of harboring and financing the groups and supplies them with weapons. Finland and Sweden formally applied to join US-led NATO, a decision spurred by Russia's invasion of Ukraine. Now, the Taliban has ordered that female Afghan TV presenters cover their faces while on air. The ruling comes 2 weeks after all women were ordered to wear a face veil in public or face punishment. Restrictions on women are being tightened and they are banned from traveling without male relatives, and secondary schools are shut for girls. The new decree is being widely criticized, with many calling it another step by the Taliban to promote extremism. And now moving on to sport, FIFA has been urged to set up a compensation fund of at least $440 million for migrant workers who have suffered human rights abuses during preparations for the Qatar World Cup. Amnesty International made the request in a letter to FIFA President Gianni Infantino. The sum suggested is equal to the 2022 World Cup prize money fund. It is estimated that up to 30,000 migrant laborers have been used on projects to build 7 stadiums for the finals in Qatar, as well as a new airport, new metro, and new roads. That's a news update. For more stories, please follow us on all our Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Visit our website at www.plustvafrica.com and do subscribe to our YouTube channel at Plus TV Africa and Plus TV Africa Lifestyle. I'm Olamide Adiemi. Many thanks for watching.
There is no voting on social media. To vote, you would require a permanent voter's card. To get your PVC, visit cvr.inecnigeria.org. Create your account with a valid email address and start the registration process. An activation link will be sent to you. Click on the link and activate your account. Fill out the form, pick and submit a convenient date and time for your biometrics. Print the application slip, which should have your QR code. On the appointed date, go to the nearest INEC office for your biometric capturing. Thereafter, you will get a registration slip to pick your permanent voter's card when ready. Get your PVC today. This message is from Plus TV Africa.
It is engagement we need to have.
Those who suffer miscarriages are never taken into account.
Members of the National Assembly are also influence peddlers.
You are sitting on Nigerians' money.
From the barbing, I pay my rent. From the barbing, I send my children to school.
A consultative engagement.
No any tangible notification before they ban us.
It's one thing for people to be at your back and the heat of the moment, and another thing for them to still be with you when push comes to shove.
I will do everything to take Lagos out of the national grid.
Nigeria's Niger Delta region, from where the black gold fuels Africa's largest economy, where the lines between wealth and poverty has never been thinner. Conflicts, poverty, insecurity, and environmental challenges daily confront the region. How can the Niger Delta story be changed for the better?
Join Mamude Akuga at 9 p.m. every Friday evening on Plus TV Africa as he probes deep in search of solutions.
Inside the Niger Delta with Mamude Akuga, the authentic voice of Nigeria's oil-rich region.
Hello there. My name is Olusheyi Akinwale Fashwi. Orúkọ rere ó sàn ju wúrà lọ, meaning a good name is worth more than gold. That was the creed imparted in us when growing up. This forms the background to my good old days story. My late grandfather, an Ondo man from Okegbogi compound in Ondo State, was a revered Reverend Father of the Anglican Communion that traversed the whole of Western region back then. His sojourn in line of work brought him to Abeokuta, where he met and married my grandmother of the Deke family at Ikuruake, Abeokuta. This is the basis of my dual lineage of an Ondo man and Egba man. My late father, Prophet Olujimi Timothy Fashwi, resident in Ibadan, retired as a higher executive officer at the then Nigerian Cocoa Board, Cocoa House, while my late mother, a trader, Oluyemisi Fashwi, hails from Abeokuta. I was born at Lafia Hospital in Ibadan. I am the first of only 2 children, the other being a girl, now married. I grew up with my maternal uncle, late Mr. Adekunle Ladende Esquire, who was then an agricultural officer and later a divisional officer at Ogbomoso during the Western region days. My uncle, an Egba man, was a strict disciplinarian. His wife, a midwife then, likewise trained us all on strict moral standards. I will share some of my learning experiences with them in the course of my story. I started my primary education at Bodija International School and completed it at St. Benedict's Private School, Ibara, Abeokuta, where my uncle was transferred to Ogun State after creation of states in the 70s. Then to St. Leo's High School for Secondary, Ogun State Polytechnic for A-levels, and University of Ilorin, where I obtained B.A. Hans degree in Performing Arts. Growing up was memorable and indeed indelible. From early days at Old Bodija, Ibadan, where streets were paved, neat clean gutters and drainage systems, security guaranteed, even with low fence and no barbed wires. It was then considered uncultured to speak across fence to your neighbors. Notable places then were Palm Chemist, Keba Chemist, KS Motel, Cocoa House, Agodi Gardens and Zoo, Premier Hotels, Rotunda, and a host of others. In those days of strong values, our normal day usually will begin with bell ringing by Daddy, my uncle, for prayers. Songs from hymnal books, psalms from Bible were sung and recited off heart. Till date, I can still read Psalm 23, 121, 122, 103, 91, and some others from memory. Then, everyone had a car to do before school. Everyone was trained to write with Ami, the foundational phonemic notations of Yoruba language, which is Doremi, and speak in Yoruba language. Proverbs, idioms, witty sayings, storytellings. Alo, alo. Oruku tindi tindi tindi, oruku tindi tindi tindi, oruku bimo, gbogbo ọmọ ẹ̀ ló yàjẹ́ o, kí ni o? Pardon me as I won't be able to translate this in English language, but it suffices to say each story then ended with a lesson in moral and conduct. It is strange, therefore, to know that majority of families nowadays train their children strictly on English language and eroding our cultures and traditions, all in the name of westernization. This is a tickling time bomb. Values inculcated in us were good character, good name, discipline, integrity, truthfulness, cleanliness, hard work, dedication, loyalty, God-fearing, sound education, and responsibility. I remember a day I was running late and dressed up for school without doing my morning cars. As I prostrated fully, saying, Udabosa, meaning bye-bye, sir, Daddy asked, have you done your course in Yoruba? I couldn't answer in the affirmative. He then asked that I should go and remove my uniform and perform my duties, and that when I get punished for lateness in school, next time I'll learn to wake up earlier and do my cars. This taught me how to be responsible and time conscious. I remember another incident of my goose. My uncle requested for a glass of water. 50-50 calls it. Half hot water and half cold water, making it warm water. As I dashed from his front, I accidentally kicked or brushed his leg while leaving. He called me back and instructed me in Yoruba, Lọ mú àdá wá kó wá gé ìtàkùn tó fẹsẹ̀ kọ́ lẹ́ǹkan, meaning go and bring a cutlass, machete, and cut the tree roots you kicked then. I turned to leave, only to realize my goof of not apologizing when I kicked his foot in error. I quickly prostrated and said, sorry, sir. That was courtesy lesson 101. I never forgot the incidents and lessons, using an idiom for corrections. Wow. I remember the good old telephone always under lock and key. I won't disclose some naughty pranks we played to dial numbers without opening the padlock. God help you if you are caught in the act. Your punishment will be near capital. I recall my uncle had tools of various artisans. We repaired minor things ourselves. Hammer, nails, saw, crowbar, shovels, plumb, ladder, plumbing machine, a toolbox for screwdrivers and paint brushes. We actually painted part of the house once. He was a hands-on man, a life skill I possess till date. Memories. What of dress code? Everyone must tuck in their shirts going out, neat and ironed. No collar flying. Hair must be cropped neat at Maridoti Babas, Makola. But what do we have today? Nudity has replaced decency. Now we glorify Yahooism as a profession. Drugs and drunkenness proliferate and rule our world. Mentorship gone to the winds and lawlessness now order of the day. How did we get here? Growing up, our orientation of sound moral values was right. And it has helped me later in life to mix freely with people of diverse cultures and traditions. It is the same values that has helped me in my passion, drive, and calling into integrated development communication initiatives, where we use arts as a tool for advocacy and education for attitudinal change of various publics. This is a clarion call, a call for us to revisit those old-time tested values of integrity, discipline, patriotism, hard work, dedication, humility, good character, and high moral standards. It is time for us to call the emerging generation to borrow a leaf from our past when there was dignity in labor, honesty, perseverance, and belief in God, who is the author and finisher of our faith. Let's shun tribal sentiments and embrace religious tolerance. Hunger does not discriminate. You are uniquely made. Nigeria can and will be great again if we all do the needful and stop the blame game. Let us ask ourselves one question. Am I truthful and honest in my dealings? As a parent, government, or a businessman? What legacy are we leaving behind for our children? They deserve a future that is greater than our past. We owe them a duty to lead them right. Nigeria needs an urgent national moral rebirth to galvanize credible leadership and responsible followership. Therefore, I join Sir Shimore Badejo on this noble initiative to say there is hope for Nigeria still. Our good old days can be a foundation for a better tomorrow. Let's do our bit to make our country great again. Long live Nigeria. Thank you.